one, and both are very wise choices. Our first speaker will be Jayden.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Good morning, everybody. I'm deeply humbled and honored to be speaking with Morgan on behalf of a class I so deeply admire. Looking out at our class, or I guess behind me, I see a lot of faces, many familiar. Actually, all of y'all are familiar. What stands out to me the most is the diversity that I see amongst you all. Not in race or ethnicity, but in the passions and the talent that make our class unique. When we started our senior play, Dr. Leland asked me, said, Jayden, do you want to sing? And I was like, all right, I'll sing. And then comes the all-day rehearsal, and I don't know what to expect. I'm sitting there trying to understand what the heck this play is about. I understand the parents were probably doing the same thing. And then all of a sudden, I hear the most angelic voice of all time singing something about Lysander. And it's Clara Richard. I had no idea she could sing like that. And I've been an athlete my whole life. I've had to guard people who are double my size, people who are famous for what they do, in front of coaches. But I've never been more intimidated knowing I would have to sing a couple acts after Clara Richard's. In addition, we also had a lot of student athletes, really good ones too, students who were the heart of their team for a lot of years. I see a lot of teachers over there. I know some of you guys won't miss us next year, but I know our coaches will. Because we left holes in the field and on the court that really can't be filled. I want to give a shout out to the women's volleyball team, because what a way to start our senior year. The energy in these games was truly unmatched. It was a great way to take a break from college essays and homework and all that. One of my favorite games I attended, if not the best game I'll ever attend in my life, was not women's volleyball. Sorry if that's what you guys were expecting. It was actually women's basketball on senior night. Granted, it was the first women's basketball game I went to, but it definitely was not the last. Because I had the opportunity to see my classmates absolutely destroy. I'm talking 40-0 after the first quarter, the other team, and with huge smiles on their faces. It was truly special. A couple weeks ago, I was telling my mom, something we should all do a lot more often because they're low-key kind of smart. She said, Jayden, you've been at the school for 7 years, what's the best thing that happened? What's your highlight? I'm like, okay, it's junior year, 2:30 p.m. on a Wednesday or Thursday. I'm waiting to go to assembly, and I feel that buzz in my pocket, and I check the notification that says Head Royce has just graded an assignment. Now, if you're a parent, you don't go to Head Royce, this is a very nerve-wracking experience because your day is about to be either amazing or terrible. And then I click on the notification and I see it's English 11, and I'm like, oh my, the odds of it being amazing now are extremely low. And I open up that assignment, and I'm like, whoa, what the heck am I looking at? Because it's a 10 out of 10. I'm like, I've never seen this before, right? It's amazing, And then, I start to reflect. I'm like, I think about all of everything that led me to that moment. It all starts to make sense now. Staying up late, putting in that extra 10% to make sure it's right, giving that extra effort for the homework assignments, for the essays, it made sense. Buying a translation of Hamlet because you couldn't understand the real one, it made sense then. They called you crazy, but they didn't have that 10 out of 10. So I'm out there, I'm like, I can't go to assembly now, I gotta tell everybody. So I'm outside the door, I see one of my classmates, I'm like, you get that MLO assignment back, because I got a 10 out of 10, what'd you get? And they say, I got a 10 out of 10 too. I'm like, what? You got one too? And I ask the next person, they say, yeah, they got a 10 out of 10 too. And I slowly start to realize it's graded on completion. And the highlight starts to dim real quick. But for those 30 seconds, it was honestly the greatest moment of my life. Now, as a class, my highlight, you guys could all probably say it for me, you all know what it's going to be, is Fallout junior year, of course, and it was the first night, or I wake up in the morning, and Charlie Marsala was in my cabin, he woke up at the crack of dawn to go on a trail run, and I'm like, damn, this dude had a full day before I even woke up. I felt terrible, and he comes back to the cabin, he's like, oh my gosh, I found a swimming hole about a mile away from camp. I'm like, Charlie, we gotta tell everybody. So we tell everybody at breakfast, we're like, yo, there's a swimming hole about a mile away, let's go. You know, and everybody makes plans to go to the swimming hole. Now, I don't really know why, but I didn't actually think that was gonna happen because we didn't usually follow through with these sorts of things. So I was just chilling in the cabin after breakfast. Someone came up to me, they're like, Jay, let's go to the swimming hole. And I was like, oh, okay, bet, let's go. And so it's about a mile walk, through these trees to the swimming hole. You know, and you're there, before you're there because it's the one sunny spot is just shining on this beach. You know, and I look straight ahead. If you don't know a lot about Maddie, just know this kid loves doing his backflips. Because I'm looking straight ahead, he's doing a backflip off this jumping rock. I look to my right, people are doing henna. To my left, people are playing cards. You know, I see people going on an adventure right in front of me. There's a lot of music playing. It was truly beautiful. You know, and then the teachers came, and then we slowly started to leave because they're like, what the heck is going on? But it was really beautiful. You know, a lot of people might look at Royce as a college preparatory school with a 100% graduation rate, consistently sending its students to the best schools in the country, if not the nation. But what I really love about this school is not laughing, bro, it's true. What I really love about this school does not correlate to where we end up, but the community that we cultivated here. You know, no amount of money or tuition equals the amount of valuable lessons we receive from Royce. You know, we all had those countless hours of honestly pain trying to understand what those Western civ readings were about and formulate semi-coherent homework responses to impress our teachers. You know, but we did it. We might not have impressed them, or we probably didn't, but we still did it. You know, and we all stayed up late studying for those tests where you know you're just cooked, but you just study anyways, you know? And we might have still gotten cooked, but we still study, you know? And we might have had trouble disciplining ourselves to keep our phones in our backpack, some more than others, you know, but we still did it. Going to this school has taught me the importance of perseverance and building meaningful relationships. The shared stress of going through the academic ups and downs has brought our class very close together. I am forever grateful to Head Royce for emphasizing community building as essential to the academic experience. I encourage all my fellow peers to appreciate the memories you've made with those around you. Each moment only happens one time, even if the memories may last forever. So cherish them and be present. Thank you. And without further ado, I would like to invite up a very special classmate of mine who also happens to be the president. Morgan Ross, can you please come up?
All right. Thank you, Jayden. That was a wonderful speech. Good morning, everyone.